Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast with your host, Andy Torres. All right, guys, welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast, episode 79. Yes, we've been churning these podcasts out, and I know if you see it from the background right here, I'm at my mother-in-law's or my in-laws' place right here. Due to the weather, to the rain and the storm we got going on, I said I was not going to miss this podcast, a chance to interview one of our San Antonio golf legends here in town. All right. Now, tonight, I have on a good buddy of mine. I have on Aaron A-Flo Flores. He's a four-time golf All-American. He's one of the top and best fitters, best repairman here in San Antonio out of Edwin Watts. And a little bit of a bomb and some info that he's going to be dropping on this show tonight. Aaron, thanks for joining on the show, brother.
It's a long time coming, man. I always watch, and I always thought, man, I wonder when he's going to ask me to be on one of these.
I've always wanted you, man. I've always been, and I always go back and look at these podcasts, right? And I'm like, damn, I hate to hear myself speak, but just like what we were talking about before we got on there, and I'm like, damn, this is why I love to hear my guests, and I enjoy the guests that I have, and I'm ready to share. I'm so happy and looking forward to sharing just what you've shared with me and sharing your story with everybody else.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm ready for it. This is a good place to kind of do it, and I don't think I could have had a better person to talk to, man. It's easy doing this. I'm not very comfortable looking at myself and talking, but it's okay.
well, you know what, man? Everyone says I have a face for radio, and I'm like, I get pumped up, and I'm like, hold on. Oh, dude, I'm like, that's messed up, man. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. We got, again, we have one of the best local golf legends out here. Aaron A-Flo, thank you so much, man, once again for being on the show. Let's kick things off, man. Let's get right into it. Why don't you take us where your golf journey began? Because I know a lot of us are curious, man. We see you a lot of times. We see you on the other side. We see you on the side of the simulators. We see you fitting people. We see you under the Callaway tent. We see you in your little nook, in your little corner out there at Edwin Watts. And so why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about your golf journey?
Yeah, man. I tell a lot of people this whenever I see them at the shop. I say, hey, I'm like that janitor that's in the back room. You just don't know who it is. And, I really don't like to boast about it. But when people ask, hey, it's something cool that, I like to talk about for sure. But yeah, my journey began golf-wise when I was 3. I started playing, competitively at an early age. And to be honest with you, the reason why I started playing golf was because of my brother. My brother was a state champ at Holy Cross. He played college golf as well at New Mexico Junior College. He was a stick, man, and he still is. And we played together not that long ago. It was me, my dad, and him and another friend. And for not picking up a club, and God, it was like 8 to 10 years, I think it was. He came out and shoots. We played at the Quarry from the back tees, me and him. And he shoots, I think, 77 or 78. So, I mean, looking up to that kind of a person, growing up in terms of golf was, he was my idol. He was a guy I wanted to emulate and wanted to be like. And, when I started playing, I played competitively in some of the San Antonio events. So, I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, there used to be SAJGA. So San Antonio Junior Golf Association was around. And then it changed hands to like SAGA, and then it went to GSA, a bunch of different things. But playing in all those events, and actually my dad worked with SAJGA for a number of years, and then he worked for the USGA as well. So golf kind of tied into all of this, from a very young age. Playing in tournaments, the city championship, that was kind of the big deal with all the juniors in town, because they had different age divisions, and you would rub elbows with different people from all over the city and see who had what game and whatnot. And that's when, I don't know if you know this too, but like Patrick Reed's from San Antonio, so got to play with him a lot. He was a year older than me, but we hung out a lot.
Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed on tour is from San Antonio, and I would always go over to his house, and when he lived at the Dominion.
He doesn't claim us though. You know that, right? He doesn't claim us.
I think it on his profile on PGAtour.com. I think it does. I think it says birthplace San Antonio, Texas. I think it does. But yeah, like he was one of the young guys coming out of here, man, that really kind of, took everybody's game to another level. Because, you want to play with better players. You want to play with players that, bring the best in you. Because, and he was one of those guys, man, that even from a young age, we were all, me, him. I don't know if you know who Stephen Fox is. So Stephen Fox won the U.S. Amateur. He's also from San Antonio. People don't know that. Landon Lyons. I don't know if he won a national championship with LSU, but he played at LSU. Chris Contreras, who's another guy that lives in the area still. All of us, man, we're all neck and neck. We all grew up together playing golf, and it was always one of us always winning tournaments and traveling, because we would play in like a couple tournaments one tournament that doesn't exist anymore, like the Trans Am, used to be in Austin. You used to play it at Kaiser and Clay. That was a huge event as a junior. Obviously, the Texas-Oklahoma was a big one. Starburst was a big one. The South Texas Junior Golf Classic in Harlingen was a big one too. So, like all of us, man, the core group of guys, we would travel and go, me and my brother, and then I know you had Brandon Ellis on here. Brandon Ellis, we grew up together. I stood in his wedding. A lot of the guys that you've talked to, we've all grown up together.
Well, see, now I feel like Brandon was holding out on me, right? Because I'm like, you know what? I talked to y'all. I was like, I need the dirt, because I can't hang with the big boys, right? Media wise, I can't hang with the big boys. I'm just trying to get I'm trying to get some street cred. I'm trying to get just any little any juice I can get out of y'all. And Brandon's my man, and he left that out. Gosh dang it, man! When he gets back from the Open, I'm gonna let his ass hear it.
Yeah, let him know, man, because we go way back, man. We go way back. But it's just funny how, like, when people start talking to one another about the golf world in San Antonio, especially in San Antonio, everybody kind of knows everybody. There's always a connection with somebody somewhere somehow that people just know each other. Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of where my journey started with junior golf was. I give a lot of credit to my brother and my dad. But both of them were two key cogs in my development as a player. Not only just as a player, but like mentally getting stronger. Just becoming overall, I guess I would say, a better man. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those two.
Well, your dad's a tough pill to swallow. I know, because I've been on the other sideline from him, and he's one of the guys that I've gone toe to toe with, and I'm like, and I see him, and it's so funny now, because like you stated, golf is such, golf in San Antonio, it's a small world, right? It's a really small world, but there's a lot of good golf here, and that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, because and you've played all over the country. I don't think people give San Antonio its props for what we bring to the table.
Exactly. I think where else can you find besides, like Arizona, California, Florida, you can play golf year round, 365 days a year. I mean, obviously if it's raining or if it's super cold, no, or I mean, like now it's feels like 150 out there.
The tee sheets haven't changed. The tee sheets have not changed.
Not at all. Not at all. No, not at all, man. And that's the thing too, is that, almost 365 days a year, you can play golf in Texas and San Antonio. So yeah, I mean, it's thriving. I just don't think, like you said, some people just don't get the credit they deserve down here, because there's a lot of good talent down here. It just hasn't been discovered yet.
And I think a lot of people, especially with the success that all the golf programs, collegiate programs are having, Our Lady of the Lake, your alma mater, the job Arnie has done there, one of your Holy Cross, one of your Knight brothers, right? One of your Holy Cross alumni doing some great things there. You have the women's program at UTSA making the regionals, or making the regionals year in, year out. Cameron Carillon taking that next step, that next step to the women's individual. You have St. Mary's always going for their division. Incarnate Word, now stepping up. The men's program at UTSA. It seems like every program here for golf is really taking their game to the next level. Now let's go back to what you stated in regards to your brother and your dad going back to Holy Cross. Now I know y'all turned out some hella good teams there at Holy Cross when y'all were there.
We did, man. We did. When my brother was there, they won a state title in 2002. I think that's the last, beside the couple of years, because I think they're in a different division in TAPS. We were, I believe at the time it was 6A. So we were big school. We were big in TAPS, but that was the last big state title that Holy Cross had won, was 2002. And if you go into the gym over there, you'll see all of the state banners on there. And the last one is 2002 golf. And that my dad was a coach and my brother played on that team. When I was there, we came a little short a couple times. We had a lot of opportunity, especially like my senior year. We were in the lead going into the last round, and things just didn't happen like they were supposed to. But man, we had good teams, man. We had some good guys. We had like my brother, another guy, Joel Cepeda, Jose Flores, Billy Castro.
Oh, don't bring Billy's name around these parts, man, because you know what? I think he owes some people some money. So he likes to stay off the grid. He likes to stay off the grid, all right?
I'm speaking in I guess in nice terms for this for the show's purposes.
No, man. I love Billy, man. I love Billy. He's a good dude. Alsatian, if you I don't know if you can tell right here, this is the background that we have back here behind us on the show. That is hole 2, I think 2, 3, 4, and I think maybe like 6 or 7. And so Mrs. Reed out there, Billy Castro out there at Alsatian. Great track. They always big supporter of the show, always take care of us.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Billy, like I said, I just saw him this weekend. We talked a little bit. Other guys, like I just saw Tim Pais. I don't know if you know Tim Pais.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So him, he went to Holy Cross as well. Tim Guerrero was a really good up and coming golfer that played for us as well. We turned out my dad was able to turn out some really good players we were scrappy. We did not come from the country club background. We were kind of like the Lanier, remember the Lanier basketball days, man. That was us, man.
So you saying y'all dyed your hair blonde too?
No, we shaved our heads. So actually, that's funny that you bring that up, because when I was in high school, look, so it's me and my wife. I don't know if you can see it, but I had like super long hair.
Damn, dude.
Super long hair. So my hair was covered in my ears.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, I know. I don't know who that is, but I had super long hair. So we were going to state. I think it was my senior year. It was my junior year. We were going to state. We started a tradition of shaving our heads. So all of us did it. And one day, one of our players, Sam Vasquez, we came to school, and my wife, well, she was my girlfriend at the time, she was in class, and she started laughing, and she was like, "Sam, you look stupid with your haircut so short." And he told her, "Well, wait till you see your boyfriend." She lost it. She absolutely lost it. But it stuck. I mean, the hair stuck. And,
well, obviously, it didn't phase things too much, because you still put a ring on it, right?
Yeah, I did. But yeah, it was. That's what I always compare us to. We were like that Lanier, man. We were very scrappy. We always kind of had a chip on our shoulders, man, because we were. I don't like to talk about it this way, but we were 5 Hispanic kids coming into some of these tournaments where you had some top golfers. I mean, you were talking. We played Jordan Spieth like my senior year. Dallas Jesuit when he played. We played at the Rawls course every year. Holy Cross, us, nobody else, us. We flew to El Paso every year. We had a golf tournament in El Paso, and I don't know of any other high school golf teams that fly anywhere, but we actually flew to a tournament every year. We played in New Mexico. I mean, we had a great schedule, but obviously we had a team that put up enormous numbers, that we were just stout. I mean, and that's the one thing. We were winning district by 45, 50, 55 shots. I mean, it wasn't even close. But those were good days, man. The Holy Cross really, in those prime years, my dad really was blessed with some good teams. He really was.
And I got one of the comments right here. I got Andrew Flores. We were district champs 4 years straight, state champs, and state runner-up.
Yeah, that's my brother. That's my brother there. So he's watching. So yeah, he's right. I mean, he's kind of the ones, him and the Billies, the Martin Jimenezes, the Jose Floreses, the Damians. Those guys were the ones that kind of set the forefront for us, me growing up, watching them play golf and practice and being around. I was with them. I was the little brother that kept pulling their shirts and saying, "Hey, you include me and stuff. I was the annoying kid, but I was around them all the time, learning how to play golf, doing different things, and they kind of shaped the world for all of us coming up, and we did great. It was great.
Well, why don't you give me one of those big stories, because I know you're dating yourself, right? You're dating yourself with Patrick Reed, with Jordan Spieth. It sounds like, man, there's like the who's who of golf, and guys who are playing right now over there in Scotland and St. Andrews right now for the Open. You have some of those guys that you've played with. Was there any story or anything that stood out from going toe to toe with any of those teams?
I mean, story wise, high school, I really can't remember a whole lot. I know like the Jordan Spieth thing, that kind of takes people back a little bit because we saw them. So we played. I forgot what Lubbock it was, what high school it was, but we played at the Rawls course in Lubbock, so Texas Tech's golf course. We played there, and we're talking the top high school teams in the country. Your South Lake Carrolls, your Dallas Jesuits, Preston Woods. All the high end. The Lake Travises. All these high end golf programs were there, and we were there. We were included in it was an invitational. We were included, and I didn't get to play with Jordan per se. He was playing behind me, but hearing about this freshman that was coming out that was highly ranked, he won that tournament by 15 shots as a freshman. Through college, I kind of started playing against some of these better players that you see on TV now, and I kind of got a better understanding of why, they're out there, and just competing with them here and there, like as a high schooler, and just hearing the stories and reading about the Jordan Spieths and these guys. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool to say that, hey, I was there. I was there to see it at some point in time. I was involved.
Well, you talk about that. You talk about the success you had in high school, and obviously that led to some of the things that we talked about before we got on the show. You talked about how your recruitment process went, because being a 4-time All-American at the NAIA level or at any level, especially in an individual sport like golf, that means something than I think maybe with making like a all tournament team or an all conference when you're on softball, on a basketball,
Sure.
maybe on a football. So that means a lot because those scores individually go up against everybody else. Now, how did that whole recruitment process take place, and how did you end up at a small school like Our Lady of the Lake?
So for me, like I told you prior, I did go on a recruiting trip to UT, but it was kind of it. I told you, like, it wasn't for me. My cousin played basketball for UT. She was a starting point guard. She's 2 years younger than me, but she was nice enough to talk to Coach Fields over there, and I was able to sit down with him. So I went on the whole recruiting process to see what a Division I recruit looks like and what that feels like. So like they took us to the football game. They played Florida Atlantic that day. We got we were right behind the bench, two rows up. We got to see all the facilities, tour everything. And once again, I got to sit down with Coach Fields to kind of talk to him, and he kind of gave me the lowdown of if you're not playing the AJGAs and you're not getting ranked in the state and doing this and that, you can walk onto the program, but you kind of have to earn your spot. And I'm definitely not scared of competition. I'm not scared of that. But knowing that the Dylan Fratellis, the Jordan Spieth was coming up. The team that this was going to be, and they ended up winning, like I told you, the national championship, I think in 2012 or 2011, whatever it was.
That could have been you. That could have been you.
I know it could have been me, man. I know that, and I think about that every day. But I don't have any regrets on how things went. So, I sent out my recruiting letter to Coach Knauer at UTSA. Got no response. Sent it out to Texas State.
Okay, if it was this time now, you know what? Coach K was my man. And so him leaving the UTSA I could have got you in, dude. I could have got you in.
It would have been good, man. It would have been good. It would have been great.
Well, and speaking with Coach K and speaking with Coach Knauer from UTSA, and he did a hell of a job there. Well-deserved retirement. Now, I find it so funny, or not funny, but I find it so odd that like they kind of look like 2 or 3 years ahead. Oh, because you got your classmen, right? You got freshmen, you got sophomores, juniors. Okay, in 2 years, I'm going to have this spot available. So I have to recruit for 2 years. I got to recruit 3 years down the road. And then they have, ultimately, it's like they have those one spots like available because they kind of just, you know how it is. Like there's very few college golf scholarships, and the money, they have to be able to divide it up or this, that, and the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And for my recruiting process, it was different. So I say this, like, I think I've gotten interviewed a couple of times about this process, but at Our Lady of the Lake, if you ever drive by there across the street on Commerce, there's a Pizza Hut there. So me and my family were eating at Pizza Hut, and Coach Eric Moore called my cell phone, and said, "Hey, my name is Coach Eric Moore. I'm starting the program over here at Our Lady of the Lake." And it was only, I think, a year into it. And I think it was him, Adam Palacios, and Josh, I forgot his last name. But those three guys were kind of on that team, and they really didn't have a full squad. It was just, individuals. But he called me and said, "Hey, I'd love to, have you on campus for a visit. Go." And I had some lineage there, I guess, because my dad graduated from Our Lady of the Lake, with his master's. He got it from there. So I kind of had a little bit of lineage. I would go with my dad to different classes whenever he'd go to night school. So I was kind of familiar with the campus. So it kind of went hand in hand. So I get started there, and it being such a brand new program, it didn't have the bells and whistles of you going on the recruiting visit to UT and seeing all this stuff they have. I mean, it's incredible. I don't want to say it was bottom tier, but it was just barely starting out. The program was just starting. And what I had told myself was, hey, I don't want to follow in the footsteps of somebody. I want to try to create my own footsteps. And I want people to try to chase after that and grab them, because, hey, records are meant to be broken. And if I could be the one to set that record first, I did my job as a student athlete to put that up there, that little, that carrot for someone to go and try to grab. But yeah, my recruitment process was pretty simple. It was a phone call, eating at Pizza Hut, man. It wasn't anything glamorous.
Hey, you know what? I love me some Pizza Hut. You know what? Colleges, when I was in college, they got me to sign a lot of credit cards, for a free Pizza Hut buffet.
Absolutely.
I do. I wouldn't do some sketchy things for a Klondike bar, but for a free round of golf,
pizza.
Yeah, for a free round of golf and a free Pizza Hut buffet, man. You know what? I'll do some sketchy
Sign
things.
me up, man.
So as you went through college and being a 4-time All-American, man, like you were telling me, 4-time Ping All-Region, 4-time Nicholas team, and again, these numbers stack up with some of the best in the country. As you played through all these tournaments, was there one tournament or one course outside of the San Antonio area that really kind of stuck out the most?
Oh man, there's a lot. So my coach Eric Moore, he had a thing, man, and that's what separated him from a lot of coaches was, and we would get, from other players telling us, hey man, like our coach is old, hey, we just go to the hotel and eat and that's it. And my coach, man, we'd go on different trips. Like we'd go to Dave & Buster's. He was the first one to run to the arcade. Not even us. He was. So it was so fun to be around that kind of a person and that kind of a program, because it made all of us so much closer and so much better. We were better golfers. But as far as like, he did have a tradition. So anytime we went out of town, what he would do is we would leave a day earlier. So we'd have college golf tournaments are Monday, Tuesday. So normally some teams would leave like on a Sunday and drive up, or they would fly out on Saturday, get their Sunday, play their practice round and go. So we would fly up, either a day before or 2 days before. He would call like some of the top golf courses in the area. So like I've got to play Crooked Stick, where they had, where John Daly won the PGA. I got to play that course. And all he did was call and, hey, yeah, come on out. We're here. We're in town for a golf tournament, college golf tournament. Do you mind if we come out and play? No cost, nothing. They would say, come out and play. We'd love to have you. And so I got to play Crooked Stick. I got to play Pumpkin Ridge, where they just had the live stuff.
Yeah, we just had the live, yeah.
Yeah, I played both courses there, Witch Hollow and Ghost Creek. I played both of those. I'm trying to think. I played the Warren course at Notre Dame. I'm trying to think of a lot.
That has to be huge for a Mexicano Catholic to be there at Notre Dame, to be playing that course. Man. That has to be huge.
Going to Holy Cross, I bleed blue and gold, and I know that's cliche and you hear that all the time, but I've been a Notre Dame fan since I was a kid. Like there's nothing more American and traditional than waking up on a Saturday morning and listening to a Notre Dame fight song, playing football, like
on NBC,
watching a football.
On NBC,
yes.
Right?
There's nothing more American than waking up on a Saturday watching Notre Dame Irish football. And for me, going to that school or actually going to the campus, just seeing the simplicity of because you drive. I don't know if you've ever been there, but you drive around, it's in the middle of a neighborhood. Like it's like driving through Alamo Heights, just driving, and all of a sudden, boom, it's just the Golden Dome is right in front of you. And to me, it struck me, I was in awe. And, I was able to light a candle at the grotto.
Yeah, man, that's huge.
I was brought to almost tears, man, because I never thought that I would ever make it there,
it means a lot. It means a lot to us, especially, and again, with the connections that the connections and the ties that Holy Cross High School does have with Notre Dame, and it's kind of it's ingrained in you, and especially growing up as a Catholic, like as a Catholic, like you have to love Notre Dame. If you don't love Notre Dame, then you know what?
That's right.
Your grandmother didn't raise you to be that strong, hardcore Catholic. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And so when you say that, it gives me chills, but it also brings back some memories because my wife pissed me off because we were in Chicago and they have a Notre Dame store right there on Grant Avenue, right, or Michigan Avenue, and it's just like, and then it tells you the sign Notre Dame so many miles this way, and then Michigan something this way, right? And I'm like, hey, we're right here. Let's go to South Bend. Let's do it. No, we don't go. And then my father-in-law the next week he goes. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, take me off, dude. It took me off. But you went
you went on the wrong trip, man. You went with the wrong person.
I did, man. I did. And it was funny. We were talking about that today because we just came back from my buddy that you fitted today, that you worked on his clubs today, Brandon Boggs. His wife is best friends with the tight end coach for Notre Dame. And so we went to play in a golf tournament in Kentucky last week for they have a foundation that they do for cancer, and so that they do for cancer research and and to help cancer patients and stuff of that nature. Yeah. And we played there, and he was rocking all the Notre Dame gear, and he's the tight end coach. And they had one of the prizes they had a helmet, and for one of the auction prizes they had a helmet, and it's freaking beautiful, and it was signed I think by Marcus Freeman, the new head coach, and it said 2 tickets. And then so many people were asking and said, oh, okay, 2 home game tickets. And he was pretty clear. He said, no, it's not 2 home tickets. It's 2 tickets to any game, home or away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And he goes, or if you want to roll the dice, to any bowl game. And so everybody was just like, man, they were signing up, and hey, that was a good way to get the numbers up on that silent auction,
Absolutely.
And so that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Well, let's get it. Let's talk about that, man. After college, I know you gave it the shot. You gave it the go. What were your ideas once college was done on going pro?
No, I mean, for me, so coming out of college, I obviously had a lot of steam rolling. I being a 4-time All-American, and I had just coming off, so I was a national runner-up my senior year at the national championship. And I still think about that to this day, because I was 2 or 3 holes away from getting a ring, and that would have changed my life. I think it would have definitely changed a lot of things because usually for NAIA, if you win the national championship as an individual, you win the Jack Nicklaus Award. So you get invited to the memorial tournament, and Jack Nicklaus presents the Nicklaus Award to Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, and I believe JUCO as well. So being able to get into that experience, I lost by, I think, 2 shots, but missing out on that, it does kind of bite me in the butt a little bit because, hey, if I had just maybe put another hour on the golf course or another, putted another 3 times, just to close out a practice or something, it just starts that always lingers. But
I don't mean to cut you off,
no,
but was it a certain sequence of things, or was it down the line? Did you have an opportunity that you didn't capitalize on, that you kind of look back, or was it just you just didn't have enough?
Well, no, to be honest, what really kind of, and this was more down the line. So quite honestly, I might not have given it my best ability to try to go out there and seek sponsorships and get all that stuff. That's on me. That's my fault. But my I don't use it as an excuse at all. I don't. But what happened? So my brother ended up having a handicapped child, And at the time I was still living at home. I wasn't living with my wife. So I was living at home, and at my nephew received a heart transplant at 9 months old. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and it's if you were to go to like my Instagram and stuff, you'll see pictures of him. But that was one event in my life that I can tell you that things really changed for me, because golf wasn't in the driver's seat anymore, because now my family needed me. Now I wasn't, my mom and my dad would travel up to Dallas because he got his heart transplant in Dallas at Dallas Children's. And my brother at the time, he had to quit working. Um, he gave up everything for his son, everything. And
That's a
he had to
man.
drop it.
That's a man
Yeah,
right
well,
there.
he is. He definitely is. And I wish to be that guy some time in my life. But he gave up everything he did here in San Antonio, literally on a dime, dropped, and had to move to Dallas on a whim. Literally one day to the next, he broke his lease at his apartment, left, boom, went straight to Dallas. He lived at the Ronald McDonald House over there. I think it was for like 6 months, 6 or 7 months.
Wow.
And I'll never forget the day we got the phone call. We were at my house. We were all asleep. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. We got the phone call that there was a heart. And, all of us just popped up, and my mom and my dad took off. And my responsibility was to stay home, watch the dogs, take care of the house. That was my responsibility. So, and I think about it now, it's like, man, if I could have been selfish and, you know, done my golf and live my life, as you would say, my own life. But I'm not the type of person, man. I'm a family man. I care about my family. I'm loyal. I'm very loyal to the people that are around me. Obviously, I've been with Watts for 8 years. I have loyalty to my friends and my family. So I knew my position, and I knew what I had to do for my family at the time. So, you know, long story short, my nephew, after getting his transplant was great. Ended up having a stroke on the table. Um, coded a couple times. I mean, he was dying, like he was dead, like he was dying. And I don't share this story with a lot of people, but me and my wife actually flew up there. So her sister bought us plane tickets because we got word that it was like this was it, like this was it for him. And we flew up there to Dallas, and I'll never forget it, man. I told him, I had told him that, hey, I'm sorry that I gave up. It's hard to talk about, but um, I told him that, I'm sorry that I'm giving up on you and this and that. Well, he still can't walk or talk, but doctors had told him that, and we were in a room. I'll never forget it, man. We were in a room, and they showed us the scans of his brain, and he had a hole about this big in the middle of his brain, a hole. And they told us that he's not going to live past 5 years old. He's not going to do this, not going to do that. He's just not going to be anything. He's going to be a vegetable, and that's it. Quality of life is just not going to be very good. And lo and behold, to this day, man, he just celebrated his 8th birthday.
That's
And
beautiful, dude.
God works in a lot of ways, man. He works in mysterious ways. And that kid, no matter what my career, my golf, I don't care what I've ever done. That kid's my hero. And the way I see it is like, if he can handle the pokes, the pricks, the casts, the catheters, you name it, whatever, that kid gets poked on the reg, on the daily. If he can do that, my life is cake, man. It's easy, and for me, I don't want to say, like I said, that's not what stopped me, but God put something in front of me to tell me, hey, Aaron, maybe that dream needs to get put on hold because your family needs you. And I don't think I'm a better person because I just did what I had to do. I did what I was taught. And that's what really kind of put everything to a halt for me, was that. And that's why I didn't get a lot of opportunities and chances afterwards, was because of that. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not at all, because I think that I did the right thing for the right person and my family. And I feel like I can go to bed every night with my head on the pillow, and I'd be cool with it. I'm absolutely 100% fine with it.
That's beautiful, dude. And that's just the testament to what type of man you are, what type of family you have, what type of parents you have. And I'm sure, looking back, that your brother and your parents are just like, I think, yes, they're proud of you, but they're just like, this is what we do. and this is what family does, and that's freaking beautiful, dude. And I think I'm a true believer. I'm a true believer in Jesus Christ, and I don't mean to be a holy roller. I mean, hey, thank God, thank the Lord, it is my show, so I can say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
And so I do think I like how you stated that it wasn't the reason, but there was something that was put in front of you. And you know what, God, I truly feel like God has a plan for all of us. So, you know, when one door closes, another one opens. And dude, that's amazing, brother. That's amazing. And, you know, like just without even knowing that story, I could tell that's what type of guy you are. And I think that's I think that's what draws everybody close to you. And that's why everybody trusts you and comes to you, because you know what, the same reason why, you know, we like to keep our circle tight. And that's what it seems like. It seems like you have a super tight circle and nothing but love and family base, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's what's made me who I am today. You know, golf has definitely given me that platform to, it's kind of my escape sometimes, you know, it really is. And I've been very fortunate to have, you know, my wife with me, who's been with me from, I mean, you can see that picture I showed you from high school. She's been with me since golf day one and has taken me all the way through. Same thing with my dad, my mom, my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, everybody, my brother. They've all been with me every step of the way with it. But golf has kind of really given me that kind of escape and get go to where I can, you know, remind myself of what it kind of used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things that I can reflect on and remember. Hey, I remember walking down these fairways with my dad when I was 10 years old and he was caddying for me, or you know, it's just golf is very funny like that. It does a lot for, and I'm sure for anybody, for yourself, there's memories that you have that you'll take with you till whenever. And that's really, like I told you, what's really kind of molded me into the person that I am now.
Dude, that's beautiful right there, man. We're going to pause just for a little minute so right here so I can go ahead and speak on one of my sponsors right here. All right. Four Bros Golf League right here. Four Bros Golf League right here. It's one of the best leagues up and coming in town. We're not a tour. We're just a league. A bunch of great guys out there that we have great schedule, great courses. Comanche Trace, Alisation, ACGT courses. Got some great courses right there on our schedule. Never golf alone again. I really want to thank all my Four Bros for all their support. And if you're looking for a game, looking for a home, Four Bros has you. All right, man. So let's get into some golf, dude. Let's get into some of your faves around town. Now, I know we've spoken several times about some of the courses that get you going. What is your favorite course here in San Antonio?
You know, that's a hard one, man. That's super hard because us doing business, you know, at Watts with the Quarry a lot. You know, the Quarry is definitely one of my faves that I play, you know, pretty regularly. I love the course so much. I think it just has so much character. But I'd probably have to say Brack is my all-time favorite. Brack is my all-time favorite. I grew up there playing golf. That's where I first learned how to play golf. You know, we back in the day, you know, when number 3, it doesn't look like it used to, but number 3, we'd go out there, me and my brother, my dad, and my mom, and we'd go out there and we'd, you know, get a shag bag full of balls and we drop it at 100 yards and we just hit into the green at like 6 o'clock at night. That's all we did every day without question. We did that. But Brack is probably, man, I know every nook, cranny, hill, break, everything at that place. And I don't know if you know this. I've never told you this, but, and I think it was at the time, but I had the new course record when they rebuilt everything. I had the new course record for a little bit. I shot 60.
Whoa.
And yeah, with a bogey. I bogeyed 8. The par 3.
yeah, 8. The par 3. Yeah, par 3.
Yeah.
That's not a hard par 3.
It's not, but I don't know what got away from me, man. But it was one of those highs where, man, I don't remember what happened. It just kind of worked. And then I think it's a course record. I don't want to sit here and say for sure that it was, but I'd never heard anything else. And then a guy by the name of Chris Hunsucker came and shot 57 there. So mine got smashed.
Well,
yeah,
that's
mine
low.
got smashed.
That's crazy low.
Yeah, so I'd have to say Brack though. Brack's definitely one of my favorites around town for sure, and you can never have a bad round of golf there.
I truly feel like there's the ghost, and I've said that several times, like the ghost of golf, the spirit of golf. I had Matt Janella, I don't know if you know him. He used to work for the Golf Channel, the travel guy, and he made his way when he was moving from Florida to San Diego. He made his way, and he had a skins game. He had a 9-hole skins game there. Our buddy Ray Garza, he played there with him, and he took some money off of him. He took a couple skins there, and
nice.
And that's one thing he told me, and it just like the spirit, the soul of golf is there, and if you don't feel it, do you even golf?
That's right. Yeah, that's 100%. There's just been, you just walk into the clubhouse and you take a look at like the Texas Open that they used to have there, and just seeing the people that have walked that course and played there. And, I don't care how many facelifts it gets or how many resods it gets on green. It doesn't matter. It's hallowed ground in San Antonio. If you didn't grow up as a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old and played a round of golf at Brack, you just didn't do it right, man. You didn't do it right.
Oh, man. Now, favorite golfer out there, favorite pro golfer?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say Tiger Woods, but I mean, that's probably pretty cliche to say. I would probably have to say, to be honest, probably Will Zalatoris.
He's awesome, man. He's a stud.
Dude, I like his game, man. His game, he's always one of those guys that whenever they have whenever we have any pick'ems, at work, like on tournaments, that guy is always one of my picks. If he can learn how to putt, and I hate to say that, but he's on tour, but if he can learn how to putt, dude, that guy would win every week. I mean, he is the absolute best ball striker on tour, hands down. I mean, I think they showed a stat. I saw it. He's finished second in every major this year. Like, it's like the Ricky Fowler thing when Ricky Fowler did the same thing. He finished second in all four, second or top 5 in all 4 majors in 1 year. I mean, it was something crazy. But I would have to say, just from a game standpoint, man, this lanky guy just goes out there and just absolutely roasts the ball and can get up and down from anywhere, can just do work. But I'm praying that putter comes around for him, because I would love to see that guy hoist some sort of a major trophy, something. I don't care which one, doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, dude. I truly feel you there. I love watching that kid play, and man, he's always a bridesmaid, never the bride, right? But in such a young career, such a young career though, right? I mean, he's got his whole career ahead of him.
Sure.
Favorite golf movie?
Ooh, are we talking like a laughing golf movie or like an emotional golf movie?
It's up to you. Give me one of both. Give me one of both.
Okay, so I think like the emotional one for me is like Bagger Vance. I think Bagger Vance for me is definitely an emotional one, because it kind of brings you, like you said, kind of that ghost of golf kind of a feel, where it's a bigger picture than you are, and you kind of get to know, like, there's someone always watching out for you in situations, and that's always kind of one of my emotional movies for golf. But obviously my funny ones, either Tin Cup or Happy Gilmore. Those are the two. Like, everyone says Caddyshack. I don't think Caddyshack's very funny, I guess because I'm younger, but like Tin Cup and Happy Gilmore, those are my 2 like ultimate funny golf movies of all time.
I really love Bagger Vance, because I think it kind of, I like Bagger Vance, and I really like the greatest game ever played, because I like how kind of the camera kind of takes you through what a golfer is looking at, and so many of the little things, the little nuances that it goes into why you play a shot, right? Or what you're thinking,
Sure.
or why you jack up a shot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a great movie, dude. That's a great movie. I love Bagger Vance. All right. As you were coming up in the city and playing golf, because there's a lot, I've had several amazing amateurs like yourself on the show. Was any of these guys were y'all rivals, or did you have a rival as you were coming up in the game?
I wouldn't say I had a rival, like an actual, like, one person that I would always play against, that was always there. Everybody that you've talked to on the show that I've seen, that I've watched, I've been right there with him, and we've all done toe to toe. One of us has won, one of us has lost. We kind of traded blows here and there. One guy, I guess, throughout the year that I can maybe point out that maybe wasn't my rival, but one guy that I have great respect for, that we played a lot of golf against each other since high school, even through college, was Jeff Rayne. So Jeff, he's a professional golfer. He's out of Olympia Hills.
Mm-hmm.
He played at St. Mary's. So you know, growing up, he went to Central Catholic, so boo, like
Oh
boo.
yeah, hey
No,
dude,
no, no,
rival.
no,
That's a
no,
that's a
no,
rival, dude.
no one cares about those guys. You know how it is, man. You know how it is. It's the Holy Cross Central thing, man. That goes back
Hey,
a
man,
long time.
that's the first I've ever heard of a Central Catholic golfer coming out of there, right? So that's the first. That's the first I've heard, all right?
Yeah, no, there's been a couple there too, man. That they've had some good squads over the years, but from in my time, I would say Jeff was one guy that I played against a lot in high school tournaments, and I'd win, he'd win, I'd win, and the guys, 6'4". I'm 5'9", 5'8" on a good day,
Damn, I was gonna say
with
5'9". I was like, damn, dude. I was like,
five
man,
eight, dude, with some platforms, a little bit of tissue in the shoes,
with the spikes,
but
got to be
yeah,
those
with the
long,
spikes, yeah,
those extra
there
long
you go.
spikes.
That's right, man. I had to get steel so that way I sat up just a quarter inch more. But yeah, he was one guy for sure that I would say. And then growing up throughout, going into college, I guess like in San Antonio amateur golf, Will Griffin. Will Griffin was one guy that during the City Am when he won his string of like 3 or 4, whatever he did in a row, I finished second a couple of times to him and him and Matt Vella. Matt Vella was another one that came out of St.
Yeah,
Mary's. That
Matt
was a really
Villa,
good
yeah.
golfer. That we were all there together. We were all neck and neck playing well. It was good for us because we really had kind of that on-course camaraderie where, hey, we're cool with each other on the putting green, playing whatever, but man, when we strap up and go on that first tee, it's and I hate to make it sound like football, but it's war, man. Like it's that subtle passive aggressive war that you have to play mind games with each other when you're playing in that final group to win a tournament. And for me, man, we could be playing for $1. I don't care. I'm gonna take it serious. I'm just a competitor. That's who I am. And but rival wise, like I said, those guys were the guys that I kind of played against, and we kind of did some battle on the courses a little bit. Those would probably be the two guys that pop up in my brain that I can think of, right off the bat. That would be two guys that we kind of had some stuff over the years on the golf course, but friends when we walked off.
Now, as you were going through the process of trying to go pro, what was you would say maybe is like the pinnacle as you to where you got to? Did you try to do Monday qualifiers? Did you try to go to Q school or any of these smaller tours?
I didn't, I didn't at all. And that's the one thing that the stint, I guess the term pro is very, at least in my terms, it's very loosely associated because, I did a couple of, some US Open stuff and, some, Mondays for, I did a Monday up in, Prosper when my nephew was in the hospital. I went up there, when he was in Dallas, and I actually did the pre-qual for the Byron Nelson. Um, those things for me, realistically, what it came down to, man, was money. Just like every other golfer that you ever hear a story about, it's always about money. And the talent level is it's not that very much. It's because I know, man, I know in my heart of hearts that if I were to dedicate 3 months, 4 or 5 months of practicing every day like a job, I could make it. I know that. Like, I mean, and you ask any golfer that is competitive, they're going to tell you the exact same thing I just said. And if they didn't, they're in the wrong sport.
Yeah.
You got to have that edge, man. You have to have that that mindset that you're the best. If you're not doing it, then you're never going to be the best. And that's what we strive to be. We got to be out there and try to beat the next person. But like I said, for me, the term professional, really is very loosely associated with me just because I did my little things here and there. And I just wasn't lucky enough to land a sponsor that could say, hey, man, here's 100 grand and go, don't worry about your bills or whatever you got, just go play. And, because that's always lingering, man, is, am I going to be able to eat tonight? Where am I going to stay? Am I going to sleep in my car? Am I going to have to do dollar menu? I'm sure I've heard it from many guys that play on, mini tours those are very legitimate questions you have to ask yourself before you tee it up. If you don't have a solid financial backing, it's a tough thing.
For those that don't know, is that kind of like the norm for somebody who's an up and comer or somebody who's trying to grind their way on the tour or to some smaller tournaments or some, to try to maybe backdoor their way to get a Corn Ferry, kind of like a Mitchell Mesner, how he went through
Sure.
PGA Latin America, and now he got his Corn Ferry, he qualified. to get his Corn Ferry card. Is that something? Is that like kind of like the norm where you'd have like a backer or somebody kind of fronts you some good cash, and once you make it, or has a lot of confidence in you to make it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's just like any other. I'm assuming any other business deal. You know, you guys work out some sort of a split, and you figure it out. Now, granted, if it's mommy or daddy or somebody that's got a lot of money that's not going to ask for a return, hell, man, you're going to go out there and you're playing worry free. You're playing on house money, and that plays a big role in golf, man. If you got that thing lingering in the back of your mind of, hey, am I going to be able to make it to the next tournament because I don't have enough money or this and that? Those are, like I said, legitimate questions that some of these, long-time journeymen that you see that have played 20, 25 years on like it's called the All Pro Tour now, but it used to be the Adams Tour. Like these guys that have been lifers on these things that have never gotten over the hump. They've maybe played in like one or two tour events, but they've never gotten to that next level where they're consistently playing on Corn Ferry or PGA or Latin America or Canada. Because remember, when I was growing up, coming out of college, none of these tours existed. Like you talk about Mac Meisner, like him, they have now that PGA Tour U. So if you go to a big time D1 school and you play well and you're in the top, 5 or 6, you're going to get some Corn Ferry starts. So, when you're like me coming from a small AIA school, those options just aren't given to the everyday Joe Blow golfer. Like I said, I'm not saying that guys that are at the Division 2, Division 3, NAIA JUCO level, because I mean, look at Abe Answer, look where he's at. He's doing great. But, those guys are one in a lot, those guys that get those opportunities. And golf is, in my opinion, I guess if I get the proportions wrong, but I would say it's probably 20% skill, 80% luck, because everybody that you go out there, they all have game. They can all take it 10 under, 9 under, 8 under on any given golf course at any given time. But you just have to play right at the right times to get those exemptions, to win that correct tournament, to get you to the next one, to, win the money list, to get you into PGA Canada or Latin America Tour,
Get you
whatever it may be.
To that next step, right? That next step.
That's it, man. There's a lot of good golfers that I've met that, dude, they are like, you watch them play at like a Muni and they just
chop it
tear
up, right?
up.
They chop it up.
It's incredible, man. And I kind of make the comparison to like a baseball player. Like if you throw a major league shortstop at like Podunk, West Side baseball field that's got potholes in it and everything, do you really think they'll be able to field those balls correctly? Probably not. They're used to perfect, manicured, everything. And that's the one thing with us guys that sometimes come from San Antonio that aren't at that D1, big time D1 level, is that we're journeymen, man. You got to kind of take that leap of faith. And if you're fortunate enough to have a backer that says, hey, man, here's money. I don't care about the return. I just want you to go out there and have fun, make a name for yourself. If you win and make it, hopefully you take care of me later on,
But I think it's what it seems like when I talk to a lot of these top amateur golfers that, like you said, these journeymen, and it seems like everyone kind of reps that same type of quality that the San Antonio and the greater San Antonio area has, like in regards to like Casey Carnes, coming out of New Braunfels. Is that every one of y'all are like blue collar? We got a lot of blue collar. We have that blue collar, mentality that, and again, it's that family, hardworking. And even when when I had Dave Roberts on the show, his son Ty,
Yep.
made it out of Canyons, made it
Alabama State.
Yeah, it's a D1 Alabama State again. Not a country club kid, Dave Roberts worked at all the ST, PGA events and, the South Texas PGA events to get his kid those opportunities. And it seems like that is the tone, that's the tone. Yes, we have some great country club, private golf course golf here, but we've also have a lot of these people that have, like yourself, that really kind of represent, the area and the hometown, is that blue collar, hardworking, grind it out, never giving up on a hole. And it's freaking beautiful to hear that.
I think that's a trend that you're seeing across all of golf, is that a lot of these guys that are making it now are like your, your Harold Varners, a lot of the Abe Answers, these guys that are coming out literally from the dirt, man. They come from the dirt and they work their way up. And that's kind of one thing that I always tell to some of my customers that ask me about my experiences, and because like I told you, people think sometimes I'm just a janitor back there just mopping the floors, and
Just the guy with the apron. You're the lunch lady because you got the apron
yeah,
on.
yeah, that's it. And sometimes I feel like I get that kind of a rap, and it's understandable, but I don't boast about my past to anybody. If they ask, I'll say it, but my close friends that know me, I definitely don't like to talk about it because it's not something that I feel is necessary to talk about. But if you want to get to brass tacks with me about my opinion on what everything's going on in the golf world, I really feel like a lot of these guys, these blue collar guys that are coming out from, I guess you can call it, more of like a urban uh lifestyle where they're wearing hoodies now, and different, you see all these different brands popping up out of nowhere that are creating a new trend of golf, because it's no longer the traditional conservative saddleback, Oxford wingtip vest anymore. It's not like that anymore. Golf is so evolved in so many ways that
It's
I
it's
feel
the
like
every man sport. It's like the every man or
exactly.
woman sport.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, and it just this is why I do the show too. Is that really because the demographics of what a golfer, there's not one way a golfer should look nowadays. There's not,
Exactly.
and I'm sure you see it on the professional side from working at Edwin Watts. You see every type of golfer walk through that door, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful though, man. It's freaking beautiful, and that's one of the reasons why I have partnered with Blackbird Golf, because they're freaking DeMonte and Thor. They're huge on inclusion, and I think this is a lot of times, and I'm sure when you walk through those doors, and it could be a muni, it could be a private course, semi-private. You get that stuck-up air that you do not know what you're walking into, and a lot of times, and you get that in the courses and the people that make you feel welcome when you do walk through that door, when you come up to that counter, when you speak to an employee, when you get those feelings that you're invited, you're welcomed, it breaks a lot of those barriers down. And
trust me, man, having, and I hate to, I don't like to make it racial. I don't, but having brown skin, walking into some of the places that I've never even dreamed, coming from where I come from, never even dreamed of stepping foot at a Crooked Stick or a Pumpkin Ridge, places like this that you see on TV, that you hear Tiger Woods winning his last U.S. Amateur, John Daly winning a PGA, and seeing all that stuff in front of you, having brown skin and being the only person with a Hispanic last name there, it's very humbling. It really is, and it gives you a good perspective on how global this game can be. And some people don't take it that way, and that's fine. Whatever that may be, but I just feel like a lot of the opportunities that are presented to me, I'm very thankful to be a Hispanic and try to maybe forge that path for a minority, whoever it may be, for any kid. It doesn't matter what color skin or whatever it is, wherever they come from, just being able to forge that path and give advice, that's what I'm thankful for this game for.
Like you're talking about, there's nothing wrong in just kind of acknowledging where we come from, right? And how at times we do get treated different, and that's one of the things that I think is the freaking beauty of golf, because
Sure.
I went to Kentucky, and again, I think I was the only Mexican I saw the whole. I was there Friday. Okay, we got there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We came back Sunday, right? I was the only Mexican there. I mean, the only Mexican there. But you know what? Did I feel out of place for 1 second? Hell no, I didn't.
That's good.
And you know what?
That's awesome.
The people there, we played at Eagle Trace, which is the home course for Morehead State, a Division I college program. And like you stated, with Notre Dame, like my buddy took me through the back. I mean, we are in the backwoods of Kentucky. They call it the holler. Back in the holler. Hey, no one drives down the holler. State police won't come back in the holler. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, because it's different, right? We have our barrios, we have our hoods, they have their holler. And he told me, state police don't come back here. I know 100 different places to bury a dead body. So if you ever need one, I got a nook or credit that I can fit in
there. You go, man. You find them in Kentucky.
Yeah. And you know what? But for 1 minute, and again, I was the minority there for 1 minute, they make me feel out of place. And I think that's the beautiful thing about what's going on with golf right now, is that I think a lot of people are getting it. I think they're getting it. We're getting it. And the inclusion is happening. It's happening. You got to be part of the solution as opposed to the problem. And I think it's happening. And it was beautiful, man, because you know what? Again, I'm the only Mexican that was out there, and everybody made me feel freaking welcome, and not like I was an outcast or not like I didn't belong there. And
awesome,
I told my buddy Brandon there. We stayed with we stayed with his brother, and then we stayed with another family friend, and everybody made me feel so welcome. And I was just like, damn. I said, 10 years ago, I don't know if I would have got that treatment. 15 years ago, I don't know if I would have got that treatment. But I think that's where, you know, especially why? Because the game of golf, it's making it easier for guys like you and I to walk through the door. And Dan Aguilar right here. And I'm sure you know Dan Aguilar. He used to be on the bag of Christie, and he frequents your shop a lot, right?
That's my boy, man. That's my boy.
I don't like him because I love to play with him. I hate playing with him because he is just such a great guy to be around. I hate it. I want somebody that I hate on the other side of the cart. Well said, Aaron. The best golfer in San Antonio, period. Damn it, Douglas.
Oh, man. Oh, Doug, man. Poor Dad. It's Doug's. Yeah, I don't know if you know who Doug Calkins is.
Oh, man. Everyone knows who Doug is, all right?
Nobody. If you don't know Doug Calkins, man, you're not from San Antonio.
Nobody wants to know Doug, okay? Nobody wants to know him.
Doug's a good guy, man. He was one of the first guys I had met when I had started working for Nike. He is an absolute trip. That guy he's one of my I call him a good friend, one of my great customers. But if you don't know Doug, I mean, I'm just going to leave it at that. You just got to get to know Doug.
Yeah, if you don't know Doug, again, do you even golf, bro?
Damn it, Doug.
All right. So now, so since we talk about Doug, I would really want to bring up the Alamo City Golf Trail Tour Series, because I do a lot of stuff with Travis and the ambassadors, with MD, with Jason Bird. You know what? They have so many good guys there that are doing some great things for competitive golf here in the city of San Antonio. And I know we got this picture here. I have to bring it up. All right. I have to bring up this picture right here of this guy right there. All right. So I want you to talk a little bit on your time in playing the Alamo City Golf Trail Tour events.
So a lot of people don't know this either, but when I started working for Nike, Travis is the one who actually got me the job to work with them. So the rep that was here, his name was Sean Kitcherer. Travis put me in touch with him, and you know, I got started on my fitting journey there. But as far as golf goes, you know, like Travis, I remember when that guy used to work in the back office at San Pedro before it got to what it is now. And man, it used to be hot in there. I remember he would work back there and make the posters. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's correct and right for that type of tour. I tell this to everybody who I talk to when they ask me about like a competitive golf league, no matter what handicap you are. If it weren't for Travis, and I know he's probably watching, and don't get too excited that I'm saying this, but there is no one in this city that can run that tour like Travis can. He is the right man for that job. He is absolutely balls to the wall, excited every time. It doesn't matter if it's 5 a.m. or if it's 8 p.m. when he's putting everything up, man. That guy is going 100 miles an hour, doing everything he needs to get done.
It's annoying. It's annoying. He's annoying. You know, he's annoying because he loves this shit. It's annoying because he loves this shit. And like you stated, he is freaking good, you know, and he is freaking good. And I'm not just trying to blow smoke up his ass, but you know what? He's earned the title. He puts out a good quality product. And that's what I want to know, because you've played in so many tournaments. You know, we have Golf San Antonio, we have the TGA events, we have the ACGT Tour. How do you think it really racks up to what the city can offer?
So I think, and this has kind of always been the way it's gone, is like GSAs for like the really good players. And then like now when Travis came along with ACGT, it's kind of like for your everyday golfer. But I think there has been like a paradigm shift where you're seeing more golfers defecting from it's like Travis is the live tour. Let's just be honest. He's the live tour, man. That's what he is.
Man, I love that. I love
the
that.
live tour, man. And he is the guy who's trying to bring a change into San Antonio to offer a more inclusive tour that has USGA rules, that they play quality courses, and they play, and these guys, man, you're talking about the 10, 15. To be honest with you, the A flight championship flight guys, we're not a problem. You know who the sticklers are, or the third flight? Those are the guys that if you're not by the book, they will crucify you out there, man. It's just crazy, like how us that are better players, it doesn't really bother us. But those third flighters, man, you move that ball or that something, you take a swing and you hit a branch, and oh man, they are there with the binoculars watching every move.
Well, they say they call it third flight grade. It's third flight grade.
It's awesome, man.
And that's great to hear that, because I'm always so curious, because it's funny though, right? You see like how many sellouts they get, and I know, and I've been on that side. I've had the privilege of being in the war room with Travis and the guys for the for the South Texas Match Play Challenge. I've been there when a night before a tournament, when they do the course setup, or they talk distance and this, when they talk, hey, the pin placements, everything's is in sixes or whatever. And I've learned so much, and to see what he goes through and what those guys, because I know he has a huge team. He has got a great team around him, and they go through so much to put out like a quality product and make it so easy for the golfer. And I have to kind of compliment a good buddy of mine, Kerry Neester, who runs the Golf Fellowship, because I think he does the same thing through the Golf Fellowship with 9-hole events. And now he has all these 2-man games at quality courses. And it's a great time to be a golfer in San Antonio, dude. It really is.
It is. I think one thing cool that and the live comment, I don't want him to take anybody to take it kind of.
No, you already said it.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying he is that. I mean, in a great way. I say that with all respect, and I just think that him kind of stepping up to, I guess you would call Golf San Antonio for the longest time. Like I told you, my dad worked for Golf San Antonio for years, and kind of stepping up toe to toe with that. I guess you can call it a monopoly in San Antonio. They were the only golf association that really was worth, any stones, that, was worth something if you won an event. For him to step toe to toe with those guys and actually kind of it's starting to teeter totter another way. And I haven't played in very many ACGT events lately, but when I was doing them, the quality, and me have been playing in all these other events that I played in, USM, US Pub Links, all these other big things that I've ever done, the giving up pin placement sheets and, doing all these, everything. It's top notch. It's top class. It really is. Really, really is.
Well, man, dude, we had some technical difficulties right there where we kind of lost a little bit of what you said, the last thing in regards to, I just kind of want to kind of clarify, because there was some breakup in your words right here. If you could just kind of state that last statement you said about the quality of the ACGT Tour in regards to some of the other tournaments you played.
Yeah. So I played in some USGA events, at the national championship level, and, those things are run to a T. They're perfect. But Travis brings that kind of ingenuity and perfection, is what I call it, to a tour that's being played not at a Riviera Country Club, but we're playing at Olmos Basin. But if you close your eyes and look at everything he gives you, the pin sheets, all that stuff, and some of the tournaments that he does, man, to take that kind of time to do that, if you've never run a golf tournament before and seen that, what behind the scenes, how much work that is to do it on the week to week or every other week basis, man, it's tough. And I give him a hell of a lot of credit for being that guy, for doing that. I really do.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take just one last break here before we finish things out. All right. One of the other sponsors I have right here is my gold sponsor is Blackbird Golf Apparel. My guys, Thor, DeMonte, are doing some great things out here in the community. And they've also made an awesome partnership with the Cameron Champ Foundation. So please join us for we have our second annual Blackbird Golf Scholarship Invitational Tournament. It's going to be held at the Quarry Golf Tournament right there. All right. Now we have right here the 2021 recipient, guest on the show, Rayne right here. She is a golfer at Aaron's alma mater, Our Lady of the Lake. And all you have to do is just apply. Please hit up blackbirdgolf.co. I will make sure they're always included in the show notes to get those scholarships in. They're going to be giving away a total of $10,000 in scholarships this year due to that tournament. And I believe the tournament, I don't have it because like I stated, I'm here at my in-laws. I believe it's going to be held on October 16th at the Quarry Golf Course. We have a team there. NothingisOB Golf Podcast have a team there. I really want to thank the presenting sponsor, which is the Sean Sexton Goosehead Insurance Agency. Thank you so much, Sean, for your support for Blackbird Golf. Thank you so much to Thor and DeMonte for their support and being part of the NothingisOB Golf Podcast. All right, Aaron, let's get into the last part. We're the last leg of the show. Now, you've talked and everybody kind of knows you around the city as being a top dog player, and everybody knows you as the janitor in the corner there at Edwin Watts. Let's talk a little bit about that fitting. How did that fitting kind of come to be, and where did that shift go from being a player and to being on the other side of the glass?
So, I mean, I had worked in the green grass side. So like golf courses, every job I've ever had has been golf related in one way, shape, or form. Like I talked to you earlier about, Travis, he kind of got me started on the fitting side with Nike. That was a good stint for me. It got my feet wet in the equipment side, learning how to use different, launch monitors. At the time, I was carrying a flight scope. That was before the Mevo and all that stuff came out. I literally had this big TrackMan-like device that I'd had to set up, and I had an iPad that I would sit there and watch everything. But going and then working for Edwin Watts too. Honestly, when I started at Edwin Watts, I was working at Almost Basin. I was working 3 jobs. I was working Almost, Nike, and then I started with Edwin Watts. Edwin Watts it kind of fell in my lap. My regional, Lee Smith, who's out of Corpus in Edwin Watts, he called me out of the blue one day.
Love that store. That's my hometown. Love that store.
Yeah. So Lee, I played against his son Brian, growing up in high school. And we had kept in touch over the years. He called me and said, "Hey, man, we got a spot open on the sales team. You want to come join us?" Sure. And lo and behold, look where I am 8 years later, still there. And it stuck. But the fitting side, when Nike Golf closed their doors for good, a good friend of yours and a good friend of mine, Ian Parnaby, decided to give me a call. I'll never forget it. It was around Christmas time. He had called me and said, "Hey," with his accent and everything, and say, "Hey, you want to come work for Callaway?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "All right. Well, I'll see you at the shop, Monday," or I forgot what day it was. He said, I'll see you at the shop Monday. Click. And I believe I've been working with him for 6 years, and man, there's never a dull moment with that guy, and I'm very thankful.
He's a clown.
He is. I saw his interview with you, man.
In the greatest sense, he's a clown, dude. He's a clown.
I saw his interview with you, and just listening to what he was talking about, man. He is as good as they come. He's been a dear friend, but he taught me a lot about the fitting side. But back to the fitting stuff, I kind of. Yeah, I'm always been, I've been around golf, and I've always been a student of the game, man. Always been a student. I'm always listening, always wanting to learn, eager to learn, because golf is adapting into a very, very, very equipment-based sport now. It's yeah, you work out, yeah, you do all that, but a lot of the technology that's coming out now, it's pushing a lot of the threshold, man. I just don't understand how they can come up with all this stuff every 2 years. I don't know how they do it, but me as a fitter, I have to keep up with that, because how am I supposed to give you information if I don't know the information myself? And there's so much stuff that people can read now that, those basement readers that go to Golf Spy and Golf WRX and they start reading. Well, you're probably going to know more than me at some point in time, because all you're doing is just going down a rabbit hole. So, I have to stay on my toes, but a lot of the fitting aspect for me, whenever I start fitting somebody, I think to my personal, skill and talent as a golfer. I start seeing what people do, and I try to either go with the tendency that they like or veer them away from the tendency that they have. So a lot of fitters do different things. I get those fitters that, or people that come to me at the shop that, they said, oh, well, this guy told me since I'm 6'5", I got to have an inch long and 3 degrees upright and all that. And I tell them, like, guys, that is so far from the truth, because I know guys that are 6'5" that play standard length golf clubs. I mean, there's no one right formula how to play this game. You just have to find your niche. What I'm here for is I'm here to assist in making sure that we can get the equipment, whatever it may be, to fit you. That's what I'm here for. And it just kind of ran with it after that.
Now, one of our good buddies, Ben Carricker, and y'all are the best. Y'all are the best repair and fitting guys here in town. I truly believe. Have you had one of those stories where you had to? He always talks to me about fixing other people's mistakes, right? Fixing other. And we were talking about it the other day, and he was like, Aaron Flores. He goes, man, have I had to fix anything that someone's brought me from Aaron? He goes, I really don't think so. He goes, some other places they've had to fix stuff, and I'm sure as a good businessman, if you fixed it or if you worked on it and it's not to the customer's liking, hey, give me an opportunity to try to help or correct it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And has there been one of those times where somebody's brought you something that somebody else did or another company did, and you're just like, what happened here, and you had to fix it?
Oh God, man, there's too many of those. Yeah, I was gonna say Ben better say that, because we talk a lot. We exchange a lot of conversations that, to be honest with you, they're a little short, but man, they're to the point. Give
us the most recent one that you were talking. Give us the most recent one.
So the most recent one I can tell you is, I'm not going to mention stores or whatever, but a customer brought me a set of grips, and he kept telling me, hey man, my grips are moving. I said, okay. When did you have these put on? He said, oh, I had them put on about a week ago. I said, okay, well, in my head, I'm thinking, well, they should be dry by now if you're putting them on. So I said, I don't know what this person's using. So, I try to give it the smell test to see, like, hey, is this person using like Loctite or, wood glue or whatever, because I've seen it all. If you've been in the golf repair side, you've seen a lot of things that make you scratch your head. Now, if it works, damn, you are the most genius person on the world. But I've seen some bad ones, but this was a pretty funny one. But his grips they were all, in Spanish I call them all chueco, dude. They're all
chueco,
to the side,
wongo,
yeah. They're all side, dude. They're all to the side. And I'm like, well, sir, let me try to fix these. So everybody comes to me because they like to watch me use my air gun and pull it off, because I always say that there's not something that I haven't pulled off yet that I've messed up. I'm very good at it. I'm very good at doing it. And so I pulled one off, and I asked him, I said, sir, where did you have these done? And he said, well, my buddy, he said he's done it for 20 years or whatever. I said, oh man, that's a long time. Yeah. And I said, well, he forgot to take off the double-sided of the tape. That's why the grip's not sticking. Because whenever you have double-sided tape, you have to peel off the masking tape to make it sticky. Well, when he put the grips on, they weren't sticking, so they were moving. He said he almost like threw a club because he couldn't hold on to the club. So that's probably the most recent one that I've had where it's a head scratcher, man. I've seen athletic tape, I've seen electrical tape, I've seen masking tape, I've seen like I said, there's not one right way.
Ben has a putter that someone's selling at his shop, and the handle has duct tape around it. And I said, dude, why don't you? I was like, it's a decent putter. Why don't you just put a grip on there to sell it? And he goes, yeah. What's the customers? It's not mine. I'm like, oh my gosh! All right,
dude, that's Ben, man. That's Ben.
Exactly. Okay, so give us the story that you were telling me off the air in regards to a customer that y'all were talking about.
Yeah. So I had a.
That Ben called you. That Ben called you about.
Is the bomb being dropped?
No.
Okay. So he called me. So I was going to lunch, and I get a phone call from Ben, and I'm like, God damn, this has got to be something crazy. I said, because he's calling me on my lunch break, and he never does that. So he calls, and I answer, and I said, what's up? And he said, hey man, this guy came to my shop, and he is pissed that I won't put grips on for free. And I'm like, what does that have to do with me? And he's like, well, I'm sending him your way. He said he's going over there because he bought the clubs from you guys, and you told him this and that. And I said, wait a minute. I said, dude, I'm at lunch. I said, you're calling me to tell me that there's an irate customer headed my way? I said, I'm glad I'm at lunch right now, because I'm gonna let him marinate at the shop for a little bit, let him think about his thoughts, and we'll see what happens when I get there. So he dropped his stuff off, and he left, and I got back. So on the work order, it said in bold, call customer. Okay. So I call him, and apparently he was like super hot and heavy, and he was just mad and shaking. And so I called him, and I said, hey sir, what's going on? Like, what happened? And so he kind of told me the scenario, and I said, hey, look, if we promised that we would take care of your grips, why did you go somewhere else and try to get them done? And he said, well, I just thought I needed them. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, sir. I said, you bring them in right now. I'll do them for you. Or if they're already here at the shop. I said, I'm going to take care of them today on the spot. As soon as we hang up the phone, I'm going to knock them out for you, and, do right by you, because, hey, if we made a promise to you to get this done, we're going to get it done. I said, I don't work business that way. If I promise somebody that I'm going to have something done by a certain time, well, I'm going to have it done at that time. And if not, then, it's my fault. It's my bad. But yeah, I mean, that was the one thing, when Ben calls me, he usually calls me like, hey, do you have a shaft? Hey, do you have this club? But he called me. That was probably the second time he called me about an irate customer coming to me. I said, man, I don't know what you're serving in the water over there at San Pedro, but you need to stop giving it to them, man.
Well, it seems like all the best clubmen really kind of work together and not against each other. And that's one thing that I've known at Ben's shop, and from frequenting it a good majority of the time, is that y'all really try to help each other. And I don't think it's one where, one is trying to one up each other. And I love to hear that from two of the best club guys in town.
Oh, man, hey, we go way back, man. We go way back. I mean, Ben.
How far back? Tell me. Give me a Ben story.
He's older than me, so he's closer. So my brother's 4 years older than me. So he knows Ben, like they're more closer in age. I think Ben's older than my brother for sure. But junior golf, being around junior golf, all of us being together, man. Even before I got into, working in the golf business, I mean, we had known each other for years prior. So, when I started getting into this side of the business, the repair side of the business, I always felt that he was kind of a, not necessarily a mentor, but someone I can count on if I ever needed anything. And he's definitely from if I don't have it, I call him. If he doesn't have it, he calls me. That's kind of the relationship that we have with one another. And it has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with, hey, I'm going to make more money than you on this guy, or I'm going to make more money than you this quarter because I've sold more of this and that. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that. What I care about is, like you said, there's so few guys, and I'm not tooting my own horn or Ben's horn at all, but there's so few good club repair guys in this town that do quality work. So we need to kind of stick together, man. It's just one of those things where if we start kind of cutting each other's throat, man, we're here for all the wrong reasons. We really are.
And that's beautiful to hear, because I think it goes back to your upbringing. You and Ben have been raised by some great people, quality people, and it's who you surround yourself with. I mean, I don't know about the hooligans that Ben surrounds himself with Alex and those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very shady, list of characters at San Pedro. But I mean, when you're on the other side of Broadway, I mean, things get a little bit better, right?
That's right. Hey, I'm in the 78209 area code, man. So it's a little different over there.
You're not in the 216. You're not in the
No,
216.
sir. No, sir.
All right. Now, as we've gotten here to the end of the show, the big bomb on the show, for people that don't know, why don't you let them know out there in regards to your professional career?
Okay, so I've been in the business for 8 years working at Edwin Watts. It's been an absolutely great company to work for. They have taken care of me like nobody's business, man. From about the shop when COVID happened, and then we had the flood in our shop when the pipe burst. Being able to see the store from that level being built up from the ground. Dude, I was in the ceiling tiles putting up lights. That's how bad it was with contractors not being able to hire anybody, and still at that time, all those memories that I created there with this, it's refreshing to see. But I am moving on from Edwin Watts. I will no longer be working there as of Wednesday next week. It was a very tough decision for me. So many great people that I've met, including you, Andy. I mean,
Thank you, brother.
that place there, man, has brought me so much joy. And to be honest with you, it's not even about the golf. Like I could care less about the golf and the dollar signs. It don't matter about that. What matters is seeing the staff every day, that the people that are there, man. It was one of those decisions that kept me tossing and turning at night. It really did. Because I have so much respect for Joe and James and all the guys that are there, and Lee, and even our corporate execs, man, that are in California. I've had the pleasure to meet some of these guys. Not very many companies that I know of where your vice president of the entire company comes to the San Antonio store when it's closed because of a flood and is painting a wall. I don't know of very many multi-million-dollar corporations that have people that have that backbone or that type of initiative to take care of their stores. It's a very tough, like I said, tough decision. I can't, say that those words enough. But I'm very thankful for all the people that I've met there. I'm getting out of the golf business as far as like my professional career. I'm still going to be working with Ian and Callaway on the side. That's still going to be something that I'm going to be doing. So my hand is going to be in the golf world at some point in time. And knowing my background and knowing who I am, I'm not going anywhere, man. I tell people I'm not dying, man. I'm here. Like I'm sticking.
We feel like you are. It feels.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's a big end of an era, and from all my listeners and all my supporters, and for everybody here, everybody, I want to say a big thank you, Aaron, for what you've done for us hack golfers, and for you've given us guys an extra ray of hope, that it's going to be better the next time we go out there. Thank you for what you've done, man. And you've done you do some quality work, because you're a quality person. And
I appreciate
everybody that's dealt with you, dude, we so appreciate you, and we thank you. And it's comforting to know that you're going to be on that other side with that clown Ian. And we're so thankful that I'm so thankful that you do the job that you've done, man. Thank you so much.
No, it's my pleasure, and I'm going to continue to do it till like one of my guys at work, they asked me, "Do you have senioritis yet?" And I said, "Nah, not yet, man. I don't not yet." I said, "I got to fulfill the duties till next Wednesday, and that's the promise I make." But like I said, man, I know you thank me, but you guys are the ones that make it worthwhile to go to work. All the guys that that play golf, and I hate to get emotional about it, I really do, but work is a place that you spend more time there than at home. I spend more time with the guys there than I do with my wife. And, being able to create those bonds and relationships, they're forever. They're forever. And I can't thank you guys enough for entrusting me to be that guy that I never even thought I was going to do Club Repair, to be honest. I kind of just fell into it, and I ran with it and became somewhat good at it. And I didn't think that I was that important. I really didn't. But, you guys have come by the shop and given me y'all's gratitude and well wishes. And those are the things that are going to carry me on to my next phase of my life, that make it a little easier for the transition. But I can't say thank you enough to you, Andy, and to Demonte. He's been a really good customer of mine for the years, and everybody that
he's got a lot of money, so he's got to spend it.
Yeah. He spends a pretty good chunk, man, and with us, and that's a solid gold individual right there, man. And I'm not just saying that because he's on sponsored, but that is a solid gold individual, man. But I appreciate everything the kind words and you never know, man. It might come full circle. It might be doing something in the golf world again. I never know. I don't know, but this is the next phase of my life and my career, and I'm definitely going to give it my 100%. And just know that I'm always going to be a phone call away for the guys that have my number. If you ever have any questions at all about anything, I'm always there. I'm going to be there.
Damn, dude. And that's comforting, dude. I'm going to go ahead and read some of the comments that we've had for some people out here, some of the supporters and listeners. Dan Aguilar, congrats and good luck to you, brother. Now, come take our money on the course. We will need to find a new place to hang out. And that's so funny because you know what? Where am I always bumping into Dan, into Jeff, Michelle, freaking Doug? I'm bumping into those guys. I was like, what are y'all doing here? And they're like, you're on our turf. Whenever I go and they're like, you're on our turf. And then I'm sure this young lady right here, Stephanie Flores. I'm a proud wifey. Changing careers had me happy. You're going to have more time at home, but we all know you'll be at the course.
I'm very lucky to have a very understanding person that's been with me all these years. I mean, we've been together. She's probably gonna get pissed off because she's in another room, but I think it's been so long. But we've been married for going on 4 years, but we've been together for 16 years. So
you better get that stuff right, dude. Okay, I know how these women act, all right?
Look, I'm an old soul, man, so I forget half what's going on. So she'll forgive me, but yeah, it wouldn't be possible without someone like her in my corner. Being able to give me the chance to work at a great place like Watts, because it could have been hey, we need to go, we need to start doing this and that. And she was never like that. She always supported me and doing what I love to do because she knew that I loved the guys there and that, golf is a very big part of my life and a very big passion of mine. And I couldn't be more thankful to be with a person like that.
I truly feel as being a teacher and a coach, my wife has been my biggest cheerleader, right? And I truly feel that in a relationship, it's not just the job that you've had, it's kind of been your wife's job, your significant other's job as well. Yeah. And so it's like they're there with you and to have the love and support of a great woman, I'm sure it's allowed you to do your job at a high level, which everybody knows that you've done it.
The first one to congratulate me when I walk in the door, man. Biggest cheerleader. Even when golf tournaments, when she's always my biggest cheerleader and always my biggest supporter to say, hey, go do it. Don't stop, go do it. And I don't know of very many people that, other than your family, for her, to just walk into my life and be the greatest person that she's been for me. I got lucky. I'm the lucky one.
Oh, that's certainly true. We all outkick our coverage, right? That's certainly true.
Yeah.
I'm going to read some more of these comments right here. I got Cassie here. Proud of you, Aaron.
That's my cousin that I was telling you about that played basketball at UT. She played at UT and then she finished her career at Florida. She's a Gator. So you ever need basketball lessons, any of your girls or whatever, you're looking at a gold Olympic medalist. So she's.
I need him. I need him. Okay.
You can use them too. You can use them too, man. That's her.
All right, right here. It doesn't say it on there, but this is Chris Dingman, A-Flo.
My boy, man.
Great dude, right there. And this is from believe it's Steve Escobedo. Beto. Aaron, because of you letting me hit your Callaway 4-iron, I now have Callaway Apex Pro irons. Thank you.
Yeah, I let him. We did me and Ian did an event over at Buckhorn, but me and Steven played. at Fort Sam. I think it was at Fort Sam. No, I forgot where we played. No, it was at Willow. We played at Willow together, and it was on what's the par 5 with the fence on the left? Is that number 5?
The fence on the left, par 5.
The one next to the walking trail. You're going toward.
Yeah. I think that's on. It's on. Yeah, I think it's 7. I think it's 7.
Yeah.
Is it 7?
Okay.
Yeah. 7.
Yeah. So we're playing, right? And I'm playing good, and he's playing with me. And,
oh yeah, no, okay, no shit, you're playing good, okay?
Yeah,
right.
I'm playing good. I'm playing all right. So we're in the fairway, and he tells me, he's like, "Hey, I've been thinking about getting some new irons. Can I hit them?" I said, "Sure, here you go, hit it." So I give him my forehand. That dude stripes it. I forgot. He was like 210 or 215 out. He absolutely stripes it and hits it on the green. And I think he made eagle on that hole. And he was like, "Man, I got to buy these clubs." It was from then on, man. I had known Steven for a while, but we had played that day, and he ended up going out to a fitting event at the Buckhorn. Me and Ian were doing one at the Buckhorn. So he came out there, all the way out there, for me to fit him for some clubs, and he ended up getting those irons. And I'm really glad I can help you, Steven. I appreciate you trusting me to get those clubs in your hands.
Right here, my boy, Mike Osterman. Love Aaron. He's the only guy I bring my Scotties to get new grips on shafts on. And he hooked me up with 3 pairs of Jordans on a pre-sale. Hey, okay. You know what, Mike? You got me beat there, because he did hook me up with 2 Jordans on a pre-sale.
Yeah. Yo, I got in. Well, I didn't get in trouble, but those things in our company were like finding gold, man. They were. Yeah, we couldn't transfer them between stores, and before I had gotten the email, I got yours and his, and I called so many stores. I said, "Hey, send them over." So they said you can only transfer 1. I ended up transferring 5, and so I got kind of in trouble a little bit. But I was like, you know what? I'll take care of you guys. I got you.
Hey, dude. Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you. So because whenever you're shopping for some of these Jordan cleats, right? You can't rely on your hookups. You can't, like, you have to beat the bush a little more, right? To make sure, because sometimes if they fall through, you know how it is, right? Especially when these are like rare items and that really hot wanted items. So I text my boy in Corpus, who's the head pro there, Brent Blackbird at Corpus Christi Country Club.
Oh yeah, Country Club, yeah.
And so I'm like, "Hey, dude, are y'all getting those Jordan 1 lows?" Yeah, I got a size 9 for you. Perfect. All right. And then I went to go pick up the ones that you said you had for me. They weren't there yet, and I was crushed. And I was like, "Man, this is why you get some other ones." Well, shoot, I ended up with 3 pairs of shoes, right? And so luckily enough, I said, "Hey, boom, I'm showing off, right?" Well, my buddy texted me. He goes, "Hey, man, are you willing to part with one of those?" And I said, "Shoot, dude, you're my boy." I said, "I'm just going to sell it to you for like $20 over what I paid for it and the shipping." Yeah. I was like, boom, here it is. And I still have the gray ones. They're still on ice. I'm waiting for like a special course to bring them out on.
There you go. You should have taken them out in Kentucky, man. You would have really.
No way. Really it rained. It rained, bro. It rained.
Oh, man.
No, I'm glad I did it. All right, Aaron, last question here. Who are you playing your final round of golf with?
Oh, man. Honestly, I know everyone's going to say like different tour players, but if I had to do my final round of golf, it'd probably be my dad and my brother. Those are the 2 people that they got me started in the game, and definitely would want to finish it with those 2. I think we create a pretty good, trio of men in our family. And, my dad doesn't play much golf, but whenever he gets to get around to me, he's a hell of an athlete. So he'll go out there and he'll shoot, for not playing in a year or 2, he'll go out and he'll shoot an occasional like 88, 89 without picking up a club at all. So, I mean, he's got some game. He just needs to work on it a little bit. But, I wouldn't be sitting here in this position today if it wasn't for those 2 guys in my golf life. Yeah, I would definitely say my final round of golf forever would be my dad and my brother, for sure, 100%.
Well, Aaron, I hope you enjoyed being on the show, brother. You gave us some great insights, some great stories. I know you're going to do great things at the next level of your professional career, and it eases me as a customer that you're still going to be somewhat connected to the game of golf with Ian and Callaway. Thank you for everything you've done, man. You're a true gem in this game, and I'm so thankful to have had you on the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
You too, man.
Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please visit my website, www.nothingobgolf.com. You You can hit me up on different forms of social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. NothingisOB is my handle. Also, please check out my YouTube channel, NothingisOB, South Texas Golf Podcast. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. Please click the subscribe button. You can leave a comment, rate, and review. It's how it helps me grow the podcast. I truly thank you for all your support. Remember, in the game of life, nothing is OB.